You already know who it is. You already know what it is. Get ready to take your first steps with the Cinestro Core, best podcast in all the land. Let's get it.
Cinestro Core, the cast. It's your weekly gold mine. Stay tuned in. Stay tuned in. They got the beats, got those comic spins. I stay tuned in. Stay tuned.
Cinema time. You already know what it is. Welcome back to Cinestro Core. It's your boy Blacksby. We're talking about, if you cannot figure out by now, by our intricate names, by our incredible graphics, by the blue lights, by that intro, by this t-shirt. If you don't know by now you do. We're talking about Fantastic Four First Steps, aka Marvel Back, baby, aka hashtag Shaq the Fool, aka hashtag Hot Pedro Summer, aka Johnny Quinn can act, aka Ebon Moss-Bachrach, my goat, aka I'm running out of AKAs.
You're running out of AKAs.
It's so good. Let's get right into it. Man, we're waiting on AZ to pop up. He's stuck in the negative zone. Usually he gives the play-by-play, the description of the movie.
I got it. I could kind of run us through it. I'll just give you guys the tagline, basically, of what the new Fantastic Four movie is. Basically, here's the tagline. Inform the folks. So basically, the new Fantastic Four movie basically is forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond. The Fantastic Four must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald, the Silver Surfer. That's essentially it. It sounds basic, it sounds simple, but that's essentially the entirety of this movie. Is they have to protect the Earth from Galactus and his herald, Shalia Ball.
It's 2007 Fantastic Four, but more gooder, basically, because we already tried this once and it didn't work. I was gonna put up images from that movie, but I don't feel like searching that up for that big ass cloud.
Yeah,
that was allegedly Galactus, but
I think you mentioned 2007 Fantastic Four. I think that would be a good place to start off.
Mm-hmm.
And, would you say overall is this Fantastic Four? What people want to know is Fantastic Four First Steps better than the 2000s than the Fox Fantastic Four movies?
Absolutely, I will say that again. Absolutely, it is way better than the 2005 and 2007 Fantastic Four. The thing that carries, and this is what I put in my letterbox review. The thing that carries the 2005, the 05 and 07 Fantastic Fours is the cast alone, because the script is poor. The CGI is not just ass, but it's also kind of telling of the time it was in. Because around that same time we got Ghost Rider, which is also suspiciously bad.
Yeah.
It's also carried on nostalgia. I fucks with Nicolas Cage in that movie, but that movie is not good.
It's not good, no.
It's the same thing with these two films. And I think at the time we enjoyed it because we were kids, we were impressionable. We didn't know good films at the time. We just watched whatever. We didn't know ball, but now we know Shala Ball. Trademark. Clip that. Jarvis, clip that.
Clip that.
And then of course they followed up. Not only did they mess up with those two films, they followed it up. What's his name? Josh Trank. Josh Trank should never be allowed to direct ever again.
Stop! It's not his fault.
They followed up with probably the worst film I've ever seen in my life. Prior to seeing Megalopolis and Craven and all the Sony Spum C films.
You're talking about the Fan Force
Stick. The most god awful adaptation of any superhero film I've ever seen in my life.
I think that one is the closest that we've seen in a Marvel property, at least, to like a DC EU level of like corporate overreach into a movie.
Yeah,
like it's just chopped to bits.
I refuse to watch it. Is how bad it is. I have not seen it, and I refuse not to.
Let me tell you, Ashley and I
black out every time.
We watched the first two, 05 Fantastic Four and then Rise of Silver Surfer. We went. Yeah. The plan was to watch the 2015 one and then watch First Steps. I was like, nah, we gotta watch Greatness first, and then be like, this is what we had for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So we watched First Steps. It was great. We loved it. got home.
And then you went back and
I was like, babe, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
This is horrible, but you have to experience. Everybody paid
You
their
have
dues.
to know. You have to go
bullshit.
through what I went through.
Yeah, so you gotta feel my pain. So
Yeah. So I think it's suffice to say that this franchise, I think, has been marred by mediocre to bad movies. I think the 2000, like you said, the early 2000s movies, the Fox movies, the original, the
Tim
Chris
Story,
Evans, the Chris Evans.
There's also the old original
the Roger
made
Corman,
just for the sake of Roger Corman one,
the Roger
94.
Corman. But
it's I was just gonna say it's really just a big side effect of Marvel repeatedly just chumping these out solely for the purpose of maintaining the rights. And this one, I will say, if that was what they were going for, no pun intended, by making this film, my God, this is an impressive amount of effort because you can tell that this
fantastic.
is Rob for a better word. Yeah,
it's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like this franchise has been marred by mediocre bad movies, and so the track record is not very good. So to make a good Fantastic Four movie, you would think wouldn't be that hard that hard of a task to do. But they proved, back to back that it is a much harder story to tell. Quick question before we get into like talking about like why First Steps is so good and basically like what we loved about it. What do you think? Why do you think it took them so long to get a good Fantastic Four movie made?
I got it because AZ jump in whenever we start talking about the source material on this one because I know you and I talked about the Shackman run for like a long time. But
the Hickman run.
The Hickman run.
The movie's not that good, man.
I'm gonna get hit with fake fan allegations.
Well, you shacking a fool.
I'm shacking a fool. Hashtag shacked up, bro.
Shacked up.
Matt Shackman, please come visit us. From one Matt to another. But yes, so with the way at the time of comic book movies, post Blade in the 90s. All the 2000s, especially with like Spider-Man, the Raimi Spider-Man films, you can't. Let me backtrack. Going from the Raimi Spider-Man films to Andrew Garfield to what we have now with Tom Holland, you see how many tries they took. The first three of those movies, they're not horrible, but the nostalgia. I'm gonna be honest, the nostalgia does carry. However, the CGI does look good in those films, mind you. They're at the same time. I feel like it was this time where the Marvel properties that were not owned directly under Marvel were just being mismanaged by their respective companies, i.e. Fox, the Foxmen, the Hulkverse films up until the 2008 Hulk movie.
Sony.
Any of the Sony, list any Sony film that is involving a Marvel character, all dog shit. And with Fantastic Four, like you said, they had the 90s unreleased film. They tried twice with the same cast and crew and everything, and they're like, okay, this is not working. Let's pivot. The 2010s were a darker universe for films. Everything was a lot grittier. We had the espionage stories, and they're trying to make it look more, realistic, based in the real world, etc. And I feel like the failure of 2015 was the turning point for this franchise because this is Marvel's first family. How can you butcher an adaptation not once, not twice, but thrice? And the fans are wanting to see these characters brought to life in the right way, the correct way. Now with Kevin Feige leading the Marvel Studios and trying to bring these characters into the MCU the right way, there's going to be levels of care. It has to be right because if you mess up, you're fucked. There's so much source material for the Fantastic Four. They are one of the most storied characters, groups of characters in comic history. I would wager to say I'd take the Fantastic Four over the Avengers any day, as far as a comic run would go.
Sure.
I love the Avengers. I love all the different runs, all the different storylines, but I have to say the Hickman run is the definitive Fantastic Four story for me. And it's the definitive Fantastic Four story for a lot of people. It's one of the iconic. The fact that they called Marvel Comics called him back and said, "Hey, what's up, big dog? Let's get back to work." And he did another set of stories, bro. That tells you all you need to know. So with that in mind, using Hickman as a launch pad, and then with the previous movies also in mind, this movie had a lot riding on it. There's a lot of care that had to go into it. I think they succeeded with what they needed to do. I can honestly forget. Obviously, we've all forgotten 2015 Fantastic Four. I can kind of forget 2007.
Never forget.
hashtag
I never forget.
That was my
New York incident there. That was not.
Johnny was swagged out, but he was also a prick for like 2 movies straight.
But I think. Go easy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say to piggyback on what Matt's saying. It's not even just comically. I feel like cinematically, right? The Fantastic Four, the directors and the people making it, minus Roger Corman, because I going back and watching like the footage that's actually put out of the Corman version, even though he is slime ball, possibly burning in hell as we speak. I will say that the Corman version did focus. Is he?
Roger Corman? Yeah.
Roger Corman. Is he dead?
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say, my God, that's impressive and sad. But also the thing is, his version, because the actors were so focused on this project being a success, right? Because it was one of their first things they were able to do, and they put so much work, even like using their own money to do touring and publicity for the movie, right? They were very dedicated into these characters, bringing them to the forefront, which is why, even though production-wise it wasn't the best, it was still the most heartfelt Fantastic Four movie at the time because it focused on the characters themselves, right? Then you have the ones made by the director of Barbershop in the 2000s.
Tim
right?
Story, yeah.
Tim Story. Listen, the names aren't important. The four is important.
Insane.
Right? But
hey,
look,
Roger
Tim
Corman,
Story,
just quick tidbit. He died in 2024, last year in May. Right after my birthday, I'm sorry. It was my fault.
We got him.
We got him.
But while Tim Story is a celebrated director, right? While he does make pretty good projects, his version of the Fantastic Four focused a lot more on like spectacle than melodrama, and it is also very dated because the first one coming out in 2005 feels like the most 2005 movie you could possibly see, right?
Mm-hmm.
The world around them feels like it's filmed on sound stages. People just say their line and leave. There's no real connective tissue. And then you get to the 2015 one, which is the worst parts of everything, right? They try to tease the fans with this whole scope of, oh, we're going to focus on the Ultimate Run, and people like the Ultimate Run because it's good. But the Ultimate Run is good because it focuses on the character, a thing that the movie itself refuses to do. Mm-hmm. It goes over spectacle, and it is plainly made just so that they can keep the rights, and you can see that it's just some slapped together 11:59 made turned in at midnight ass project, right? With this, even though there is quite a bit that was in the trailers and told to us, and also like chopped out the reshoots, right? It still feels cohesive enough to where it focuses on the Fantastic Four as what they are, which is the first family, right? Even though they're apart, whenever they're apart, they're with another member of the team. They're not just out doing whatever the fuck. It focuses on them as a unit because that's what they are. They're a team both at home and out in the city saving the day regardless. And that is my most positive thing I have to say about this. Most positive. But we'll get into that.
Lord.
Yeah, I think it's hard
to tack onto real quick. Oh, I was just gonna say tack on to what he said about the Ultimates too, and then with 2015, it felt like each character lacked depth so badly. And I know you can tell more, you can flesh out characters more with a comic book because you have infinite amounts of issues you can release. The Ultimate Universe is so expansive. We got the Ultimate Avengers who are all just dickheads and gritty and terrible human beings, but they're so the comic stories are so cool, and the shit that happens there is very interesting.
Except for Hank Pym.
Hank Pym, Hank Pym is a terrible individual. I remember I was in the library reading Ultimate X-Men, and when I stumbled upon the Fantastic Four, this is what 2008, 9. Somewhere around there. When I was a lot younger, I didn't have a beard. I was a lot shorter. I was like 6'1" instead of 6'4".
6'1", a lot shorter. That's crazy. I fucking wish, bro.
Bro's over here reading comics. The football team needs you, brother.
Yeah.
You were in the wrong room.
You worried about the wrong books.
You're about the wrong formations.
You in the wrong field, bro.
Formations.
Oh no,
wrong runs.
But yeah, no. The
Ultimate
runs. Comics did. Those are some of the first comics I read, like from front to back, every issue, and seeing that they tried to adapt that and they just fumbled it so bad.
Absolutely,
Reed is not Reed. None of the characters in the movie are the characters that they should be, and I feel like this movie, First Steps, is a stark contrast. Tony Stark contrast from those 2015 films, and then the fact that Sue and Johnny are step siblings or whatever, and Johnny is just this one. He's like, I'm a hot rod. Look at me, I'm doing all this shit. I'm trying to be on my dad's shadow. They're all poorly adapted. Versus here, you get to see that and not just Reed is a smart one. They're all smart. Every single one of them has a level of intelligence that was not explored in the previous films. You know,
but I think it's
Johnny
very important.
Is brash, and then he's look at me, I'm Johnny Storm, I'm so swagged out, I'm cool. But he's also intelligent as hell.
Yeah.
He solved the alien language.
I think it's very important. I think it's very important for in order for the point that you make to really stick. It's really important for the 2015 Fantastic Four to come out right. We needed them to make a movie that was so bad that completely misunderstood the characters and that completely did not understand them at all. So that we had that bad taste in our mouth, so that we could then get Fantastic Four First Steps, an adaptation that more closely adapts to the characters that we know and love. You know, I think it was unfortunate the run that they've had. We're fans of the 2000s ones because we grew up with them, and there's just a kind of campiness that you just can't help but Jessica kind of like Jessica Alba, exactly. It really helps your movie when you've got Daniel Ramirez's girlfriend in your movie.
Daniel Ramirez.
And so it's nice. It's nice just to kind of bring things back to First Steps. It's nice to kind of finally get a Fantastic Four film that feels competent and important, and it feels like it's. I'm glad we got it when we did because it really seems they seem to have really gotten it right on the money.
And to take that another real quick, my bad. And to take that another step further, this film couldn't have come at a more opportune time for the MCU because it's on the heels of Superman, which is a success for the DCU. Everyone's been talking about Marvel fatigue. Marvel's not doing good. Marvel's suffering. It's not that Marvel's not doing good. It's that we've been getting bad movies, and not just from comic book movies, bad movies in general. Shit that shouldn't even be in theaters is getting released. We are tired of seeing horrible stories put in front of our faces, and we're paying all this amount of money to go to the theater, $20 to buy snacks, all that shit. To have a film like this, to take the MCU back into the trajectory where it was back in the 2010s, 2008 and on, this is what we needed. We've been asking for this, and I think Thunderbolts was the first glimpse that hey, we're getting this. We're steering back on course. This is a return to form for Marvel. I know, like, I had a lot of hopes for Captain America: Brave New World because I love Captain America and I love Anthony Mackie specifically. Black in America. I was really rocking with Sam, especially I like comic Sam a whole lot. So I was hoping his first outing in a movie would be phenomenal. They butchered it.
First solo outing.
We fucked it up. It's okay. We're gonna come back stronger. Thunderbolts is the turnaround. Fantastic Four is a definitive. Hey, we know some things didn't hit as well. Let's go ahead and make sure you understand exactly who we are, exactly what Marvel's about. We're here to make good stories, good films, and go ahead and enjoy that shit. Come onto the theater. So that's all I think.
Now, before we get into discussing the film in detail. Should we tell the people what this lovely film is about that we're about to bring?
We already did.
Yeah, we already did. We started it.
Fantastic.
We already took our first steps, bro.
Yeah. What I was going to say is that something that really makes or breaks a movie, I think, especially a movie of this caliber, and we can kind of start talking about it here, is a good cast. You know, and I think when this movie was first announced, back when John Watts was kind of attached to the project, which seems like fucking forever ago.
Praise God.
I think this movie,
no disrespect.
this
God,
movie
not John Watts.
and soon to be X-Men. I think before X-Men comes out, this was probably the one that had the most like hinging on the casting choices. And trust me, we heard every name imaginable. We heard stuff like Adam Driver, Margot Robbie, Paul Mescal,
whoever that guy is from You.
Penn
that one.
My favorite one was Tom Ellis. That one I was rooting for.
One of my favorite ones that was suggested. There were two brown actors that were suggested. It was Rahul Kohli and there was
Dev Patel.
Dev Patel was the other one I was missing. Which I think either of those would have been phenomenal. If we get a Council of Reeds-esque scene, I'd like to see some of those heads floating around. Nice.
For a short time there, Antonio Banderas was rumored to be playing
Galactus.
Galactus.
That would have been insane.
Which would have been interesting. but all that suffice to say that I think there was a lot riding on this casting. There's a lot riding on this movie, as Matthew had mentioned, and I think personally, I'm incredibly biased, but I think they got the casting down perfectly. They got Pedro Pascal to play Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby to play Sue Storm, Ebon Moss-Bachrach to play Ben.
I'm waiting on it,
and Joseph Quinn to play Johnny Storm.
How those words tasted, Louise?
Thank you.
How those words
Thank you.
Look. It is known. It is known that I am a Joseph Quinn hater, right? But for me to say that I think he was casted well, that I think he did a really good job with Johnny, is saying a lot, and I accept defeat. He's 1 for 5. He's 1 for 5. He's still got a lot to prove to me. Right. He's still got a lot to prove to himself. But I think that's just a testament to the casting department and kind of like the movie and kind of like the importance that they knew they had to get this movie down right. And I'm really glad that they figured it out. But yeah, what do you guys think of the casting?
Real quick on that too. The casting is undefeated.
I forgot to mention Ralph Ineson as Galactus, and then Julia Garner as Shala Ball, of course.
Any cat?
No.
So she's just really good. Like from the beginning of this. Oh, what happened?
We didn't catch that. What were you talking about?
I was talking about Sarah Haley Finn. The casting. Basically, she's cast the entire MCU. She is the casting director. She's the name you need to know. If you want to say thank you to anyone for putting these characters on screen, she's put Chris Evans where he belongs, put Pedro in this role. She knows what she's doing. And we got an entire, of course, we already mentioned Vanessa Kirby, absolute standout in this film. Pedro Pascal, we been knew Pedro's gonna cook. Ebon, is it Ebon? Ebon?
Ebon, yeah.
Ebon. You said Ebon.
I said Ebon.
No, Ebon.
Put a little Cajun in it.
Hey, little Cajun. Ebon.
He's my favorite person, not just in this movie, but also in The Bear. And also he was Micro for like 2 seconds in The Punisher.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they're gonna address that in the MCU moving forward.
They're not. That doesn't exist. That didn't happen.
They're just gonna be like,
I'm gonna be honest, Matt. You saying Micro right now just reminded whoever's listening to this episode that Micro was in an MCU project recently. Yeah. So I don't think they're gonna care.
No one gives
I really don't. I don't think they'll care.
And then also, of course, Julia Garner as Shala Ball. Everyone was up in arms about. First of all, let me rephrase. Not everyone was up in arms. The non-comic readers, the basement dwellers, the
Cheeto-stained underwear residents.
Yeah, the nacho cheese teeth having, no deodorant owning, hasn't showered since 2012.
Top 500 in Marvel Rivals, no employment to speak of type of people.
Quadruple platinum on fucking comp. Like, bro, these type of people, they were like, oh, why is she a girl now? Why is Silver Surfer a girl? This not comic accurate. Pick up a book,
dude.
Bitch.
Also, not even just that, but to like really hit on it, I want you, the listener who thinks that Shala Ball should not have been the Silver Surfer, or that a woman shouldn't have been the Silver Surfer, really tell me with all 1000% certainty, does the gender of the Silver Surfer matter compared to what their job is in the narrative. Your job is to tell a group of people, my boss is coming to eat you. Have a good day.
But it might have been cooler.
And then betray him.
It might have been cooler if Johnny wanted to fuck a guy Silver Surfer.
I was about to take a step further.
That might have been more interesting.
Look, well, that would have been more interesting.
Yeah. Now that would have been woke. that would have been woke.
Look at it from this angle too. Why are you complaining that it's a woman now?
Yeah.
What? I mean, hey, if you want to see a man,
a
naked
by
man,
all means,
I support you.
Couldn't be me.
Do what you want.
Me personally, I'm cool with either one.
That's why
I'm winning either way.
That's right.
I'm winning. I'm brick regardless.
One's fine,
regardless. Exactly.
Matter of fact, both of them. Both of them.
At the same, two bad bitches at the same damn. No, and so
still.
I don't want peace.
No, but
I want problems always.
Talk about the movie a little bit. Like we talked about, what we can get to talking about, like the casting and stuff. I just want to mention something really quick. They made a couple of updates to these characters, right? Like traditional characters that we know from the comics and that previous iterations had brought to life. How do you guys feel about those changes, those adaptations? How do you think these actors tackled these characters, and did you like their interpretations of these new and updated versions of the Fantastic Four?
I'm gonna get shot in the street for saying this, but I'll stand on it. I saw one trailer of Joseph Quinn and pivoted so hard, my God, I thought I was gonna get whiplash. But man, he's good. He's good, and he's so good at Johnny Storm, not even just being like my favorite one committed to live action. Because that is some steep competition regardless. Because Chris Evans is really good because it's very indicative of the era and very fun. However, this is the only version of Johnny Storm where I thought to myself, wait a minute. Yeah, I know why he's here. Why are the other two there? Why are the other ones always around? Because every other version of Johnny Storm, I'm always thinking of them getting introduced. I'm like, okay, Reed, main scientist. Sue, she's a specialist. Ben, pilot. Johnny's the brother. Why is
Johnny's sexy? He's sexy.
What is he? Yeah, but I'm like, what are your qualifications to be on this mission, right? And him not only being Ben's co-pilot, right, but being like able to make an entire Rosetta Stone using like the repeated phrases in a language, like analyzing the limited amount of the lexicon of Shalabal's people that he got, and playing it back and using that to then decipher other messages and other encryptions. He's not like Reed Richards smart, but he's justifiable. It makes sense that he's there in the mythos, right? I also like other changes they made, for instance, like how they have Natasha Lyonne playing a love interest for Ben, and I was very confused because I was like, okay, that's a lot of eye contact. Yeah, why is she not blind? What's happening? But then I thought it makes sense because in this world, the Fantastic Four are pretty much the only superheroes, and they're loved. You're not gonna call the fucking grotesque rock guy a freak when everybody loves him. It would be like if somebody called Beyonce a bitch. Everybody's going to be like, why are you doing that? Right?
They call who a bitch?
Exactly. I'm going to be dead by morning because of that. But that's the point. They're celebrities. They're beloved. There was a thing said a while ago when they were trying to figure out how to make versions of Fantastic Four in like the 2000s, where they wanted it to be something like a Hard Day's Night, that Beatles thing where they're like celebrities and they're always getting chased by paparazzi, right? And I feel like this has a good sprinkle of that because they fit very well within this world as celebrities, right? But they're not so hounded and celebrated. They're treated as like heroes as well as everyday people. You see that humanity to them. I think Pedro Pascal, his emotional disconnect as Reed, you can see him trying to figure out how to love, right? You can see that very strong, motherly, but also very authoritative role that Vanessa Kirby falls into as Sue Storm, really giving her a sense of urgency with the Future Foundation aspect and her leading negotiations with Mole Man and everything, right? Her taking much more of a first lady aspect. I love that.
It is ultimately her story, right? And I think that's very apparent from the get-go is that this is Sue's story. She's the main character, right? And I think that's a very interesting direction to take it, and I think it's very purposeful, obviously, and it's very pertinent. And I think making the only woman character in the Fantastic Four, kind of the head of the Future Foundation, kind of the de facto leader, right? The kind of the most public facing of all the characters as well, and kind of making this her story, I thought was a very good and smart choice because it gave her, the changes that they made to Johnny, they made him more. They made his existence, like you said, more justifiable, right? And I think the changes they made with Sue made her more justifiable as well. It made them all much more like beneficial members of the team, right? Because everyone usually just knows, exactly, much bigger contributors to the team. It felt like they were much more of a well-oiled machine, much more of a unit, right? Because it didn't feel like Reed was doing all the heavy lifting, right? I felt like Reed offered what he offered, which is his intelligence, his incredible intelligence and in problem solving, right? But that comes with a lot of problems as well, right? And that's where all these other characters come into play, right? Sue can talk to paparazzi. She can talk to the public. She can talk to a crowd, right? Something that Reed very obviously in the movie cannot do. Johnny, he is still kind of like a womanizer, kind of still like a ladies' man, but he's not a himbo.
Chasing tail.
He's not a himbo. He's not chasing tail, right?
You can tell he gets delayed, but reasonably.
And not only that, he's not a sexist misogynist. Yes. He's not like misogynistic. It's a much more modern, updated version of it. He is a ladies' man. And like you say, he does get tail, but at the very same time, he's also kind of like respectful about it, right? And not really like a tool, right? And then we have
performance.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have Ebon Moss-Bachrach's thing, which I had a lot of issues with, but we can continue talking about the rest of the movie before we get into like what the problems that I had with this character specifically.
And I would just mention that real quick. Go ahead.
Go for it.
I was about to pivot to another aspect of the film.
Okay, let me just mention really quick. I know a lot of Pedro Pascal's been getting a lot of flack as world's number one Pedro Pascal defender.
Yes,
I just have to say that people criticizing his Reed Richards, I think, can kiss my ass. Yeah, I don't see what the problem
with it is. Kiss my fantastic ass.
I think Pedro Pascal did such a
clip that trademark.
Clip that. I think my fantastic ass.
Yeah,
I think,
my fantastic.
I thought Pedro Pascal did such a fantastic job at like displaying that obviously that tortured genius that we all know Reed can be, but we saw the active struggle of him, like you said, also trying to find his humanity, right? He says to Franklin, I've had this problem. I've been broken like my whole life or something like that. Essentially something like that, right? So we see Reed's constant struggle within himself, right, to try to be the problem solver and to be the savior of humanity, while also learning that it's okay to grant himself grace and grow and love and not be so meticulous and kind of analytical about everything. And I think Pedro did such a beautiful job, like balancing all these different like compartmentalizing and balancing all these different layers of Reed. Usually we get him and he's played very one-noted, and I think that he had a lot of nuance and there was a lot of internalization that was going on with Reed, and I think that his chemistry with Vanessa Kirby was electric, and I think that he did a great job. And so I just need to put that out there because I know he's been getting a lot of flack recently, and I know people are really criticizing his Reed Richards, and I thought he was incredible, and people can just back off. So
also I'm gonna tack onto that before we pivot to the next point. Ewan Gifford, he did a great job. Like I said earlier, that cast, they looked the part, sexy as hell. Great cast visually, everything else but he did do one thing that I liked a lot that Pedro did very well too, portraying, like you said, that tortured genius, portraying someone who's so smart they don't even know how to function,
smart for their own
on
good.
On a human level at times, He was talking to Sue. Mind you, in this movie, him and Sue are separated at the time. They were broken up or stopped dating or whatever it is. And Sue comes in with the new spacesuit, and he's like, "Oh, that's fantastic!" And she's thinking like, "Yeah, he's finna like make a move. He's finna shoot a shot." And then he's like, "This is some interesting." Like, he's talking about the material. I'm like, "Bro, this woman is clearly still interested in you."
Polymers grip the electrons with the unstable molecules, etc.
Like you're not freaking reading the social cues Is it not clocking to you that she is telling you that she's interested in you still, and you're not paying attention to that? All right, but I think Pedro does a great job of portraying that to a level that, how do I word this?
A level of believability, because it's not so much as to where like he's so emotionally disconnected. You're like, bitch, if you don't leave him, I will for you.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. Why are you
right?
Thank you. So emotionally unavailable.
But it's also it's also not so minimal to where you're also at the same time like, how is he this smart? How is he smart at all? Because the thing is with smart characters, they're very difficult to write, right? Because
they know everything.
Not even just that. It's that a writer, or is that a character that's supposed to be smart is only as smart as the writer is.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
They use because you have to write a fine line between your smarts being beneficial to progress the story versus being a MacGuffin, a solve-all plot device that can get them out of any situation, right? And this, I feel like, with Pedro's performance, really rides that line very well. In my opinion.
And I think the scene that captures kind of his character the best is the scene wherever they're making a plan to try to, like, the teleporting the planet to a different spot in the universe has completely failed, right? So they're trying to do a plan B, and the plan is to kind of do a bait and switch, right? Lure Galactus into the teleporter so he can teleport him by promising him Franklin, right? And so he's kind of talking them through the plan, and Sue's like, "You want to sacrifice Franklin?" And he says, "No, like mathematically." He says, "No, not at all." And she's like, "Wait, no, you've thought about this, right? You've already considered it." And he's like, "No, I haven't." And she says, "Yes, you have." And he says, "Yes, I have." And it's like that kind of that really encapsulates exactly what his character is, their dynamic specifically, but his character, right? Is that and he says it himself. I have to think of everything because they might and they will. So I have to think of every possible option, and even the ones that we don't want to.
We'll get a scene like, you remember how when Stark and Thanos met, and he's like, "You're not the only one cursed with knowledge." I feel like we'll get some type of scene like that down the line. Like, Richards, you're so smart, you think you know everything, you've counted all this, but have you accounted for this? And it's like some grandiose plan that the villain has. But that's
it's like have you?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was gonna make a really stupid joke. I don't
go ahead, do it. That's our brand,
he's
bro.
Like,
people know this.
What you're here for, bro.
He's like Richard. He's like, Richard, you're the smartest man alive. You've accounted for everything except for this. And then he cuts a string, and the giant piano falls, and it crushes the Fantastic Four.
Some Looney Tunes ass death.
Thus, here lies Franklin underneath this giant piano.
He says,
his gun says "bang" and it's a flag.
Yeah. He says, "I hate you 3000" before Reed Richards goes into falls down a pit full of spikes, and he's like, "Yes, I covered it in leaves according to plan. Yes."
But I also think too, Luis mentioned something really great too. The dynamic between Reed and Sue in this movie versus Reed and Sue in the previous films too, especially the second one. Oh my God! I know they're trying to adapt the Ultimates, but goddamn, Reed goes up to the general in the movie, and he's like, "Yes, General, you need my help. I'm the smartest man. I'm the greatest mind of the 21st century. I'm dating the hottest woman on the planet. And all my friends are doing all this shit." I'm like, what the fuck? This is not Reed. This is not Reed. This is the maker.
You seen that tweet that fucking Ninja posted where he's like, "I'm over here on Fortnite. I cranked to 90, and my beautiful wife is coming to make me a sandwich."
That's like same shit.
That's same energy. Yes, same energy.
That's so fucking gross.
I got the smartest mind on the planet. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
But that's what was so. I think that's why Matt Shackman and the choices that him and the writers made on Sue's characters. I think Sue's character are so important because you can really see kind of like the symbiosis between those two characters, right? And how much Reed leans on and depends on Sue, and how much she leans on and depends on him, right? It's like that they're a beautiful couple because she kind of patches the holes in his character, right, that he can't himself, and he grounds him, and he grounds her, and she grounds him, and I think that's such a beautiful dynamic. And then also we also have to mention really quickly before we move on, just like Johnny and Ben's kind of back and forth and their relationship. Man, I thought they were incredible. Ebon, Moss-Bachrach, and I think Joseph Quinn have awesome chemistry as well. And just everybody's dynamics and their interplay, and you just really feel like they're really a family and they've known each other forever. Yeah. And nothing ever felt mean-spirited at all. It felt just kind of like you would like tease your cousins or your brother or your friends. You know, it's like you're busting each other's balls. But ultimately, you know, I got your back, and you know that I love you, and I'm here for you, and I support you. But I'm just going to give you a hard time about it. You know what? I really like that modern, updated version of the family dynamic. You know, that it's like it's very modern. You know, and it's not mean-spirited.
Because just like I was saying with Reed, right, and how you can't make him so emotionally robotic that you would be like, all right, nobody would love this man, realistically speaking, right? There is an animosity between Johnny and Ben that's really well represented in the 2000s Fantastic Four, but to a cartoonish degree to where you would realize that these people would kill each other by now, right? It's way too much. Ben is going through like the worst days of his life, right? And Johnny is like, look at you, you're gross. Even when they're trying to like make up a name in the 2015 version,
the thing,
and he's like, how about the thing nobody wanted? And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, what's wrong with you? Right. This is very, very playful. Like, there's even a point where the power goes out, right? And Ben does look ridiculous. And while Johnny does chuckle a little bit, he's like, I should keep the beard. You look good with the beard. And it's not even setting him up for failure. Like, he genuinely thinks he looks good.
Exactly.
Like, he builds him up as much as he breaks him down.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Versus
awesome.
Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis, where he's like, "Oh, you look like shit." He was like, whenever they first came back from space,
he's like, "Why is that hot blind girl dating you, ugly piece of shit?"
He didn't say
or
that.
He's like, man, I like, or even in the second one where he's like,
how do you?
I'd hate to wake up one morning and find out she died in a rock slide. Fucked up, but that's funny.
Hey, real quick, let's address the big ass elephant in the room. The big giant fucking elephant. So let's talk about it. We had a big threat in this movie, a massive threat known as Galactus. Now, for those of you who read comics or understand comics to a certain degree, you know that the Galactus appears over and over in the Fantastic Four universes, different comic iterations. He's there. He's doing all types of crazy shit, eating planets, fucking niggas' lives up. In 2007, we got our first glimpse of Galactus, and it was the most god-awful.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me rephrase. Let me back it up. Our first attempt at a glimpse of Galactus, and it was the worst, god-awful, horrendous, heinous, criminally offensive, and like racist thing I've ever seen in my life. Homophobic, diabolical, any type of is and phobia is that shit was so bad.
All the phobics.
I want to throw rocks. I want to throw rocks at the screen, bro. They made Galactus a giant fucking cloud. Tell me something. Is the cloud gonna envelop your friends?
It's interesting, and
are you scared of nature?
I think it's very indicative, like the fact you know that, like it's like how far something so small as getting Galactus right goes, right? It's like, damn, dude, all the goodwill you guys just won by making Galactus a giant celestial, like literally just what he is, which is a giant man who looks cool as shit and devours planets.
Cool.
It sounds ridiculous, and I get why they made him a cloud or whatever, but it's like at this point in comic book storytelling, after we're like 15, 20 years into it, and we've established a kind of like storytelling structure and a storytelling nature, and people's kind of like being able to disconnect from reality and give themselves over to these stories, you had to get it right, and they did
exactly.
And it's like, and I'm so proud and I'm so glad that they did, because he looks incredible. Ralph Ineson is incredible.
This is literally the best version of the Galactus we could have gotten, because
the bar granted is in hell.
Yes.
Literally in hell.
The bar is
in hell.
It's
in hell.
Hulk Hogan is doing
pull-ups on the bar. On God.
Rest in piss, bozo. Rest in piss, you racist
brother.
Piece of shit.
Hell yeah, brother. Turn up, brother. I'm in hell, brother.
I'm with OJ, brother.
I'm with OJ. Hey.
Seeing the movie start Yeah, he's in there. Fuck him.
He's in heaven, bro.
R.I.P. Nordberg. All right, rest in peace. See our review of Naked Gun next week. Oh,
excellent.
Nice.
So seeing 2007 Fantastic Four, and just seeing like that giant ass cloud at the beginning of the movie, and I was like, I know damn well, and I was like, nah. Let me see how it plays out. Then here comes the surfer doing his shit, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, Galactus is coming, and he's like, it's a big ass cloud swallowing Saturn.
Oh,
I, like, I don't want to watch it
Matt, do you remember when they also had the fucking nerve to like show like the silhouette of Galactus's head in the cloud?
Yes.
Like, hey, you know what?
The
thing you want, you want it?
They said, here you go.
Too bad.
Here you go. Ooh, you almost
they just throw it off to the trash.
That thing you want, fuck you. You're not getting it.
But I do also understand, because while we did have comic book movies, they were not interconnected, and none of them had jumped the shark to that degree. And also, usually when they do, they're not received well by general audiences.
Yes,
and I understand that.
People hadn't been trained to kind of to adopt and understand comic book storytelling that way. It would have seemed really crazy to people in 2005. Be like, "Wow, who's this giant man who eats? What the fuck is going on?"
Exactly.
When there had been no previous establishment of the lore or this character or like kind of those kind of stakes. So I understand and I get it. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's a dog shit adaptation and it's horrendous and it's so insulting.
I'm about to glaze Ralph Innocent so hard. You know, whenever we're talking about Galactus and trying to see who's going to get cast, it's like there's so many heavy hitters that they could put in.
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio would have been fantastic.
A choice. Ralph choice of all time. I'd have to see that, because I just don't see it.
I see it in my head, and it's glorious. It's
giving. You know what it's giving to me? Antonio Banderas as Galactus, it feels to me like Mr. Electric but serious. Like that's what it feels like to me, and I can't unsee it.
Like Galactus, the Devourer.
He's like you. He's like, I'm going to Devourer.
It's my way.
It's like,
I am Galactus in boots.
Bro, I think somebody threw Javier Bardem in there too, and I was like, that would have been cool.
Oh,
I would have been. I
fucks with Javier Bardem so hard, especially I watched F1 32 times. I'm gonna watch it again in IMAX, and every time he says, "I'm giving you an open seat in Formula," I'm like, yes. Please, I'm in the race car right now. So having him as Galactus is cool.
But all this to say that Ralph is an amazing Galactus, because prior to this, I had seen nothing with him in it. I had seen nothing. I think the other thing is he in is he? Am I frozen? Am I frozen still?
No, you're good now. Right, I think we all froze for a bit.
Okay. That was all of us.
Damn, that
was wild.
We were putting the negative zone.
We had to get Franklin and put him on the tech support to fix whatever happened with our connections there, but we got it fixed. But I was saying, I was not familiar with Ralph at all. Prior to prior to seeing this movie, I think, is he a Nosferatu? Is he Nosferatu?
He is a Nosferatu.
He is Nosferatu.
He's a frequent Edgar's collaborator.
I had seen Nosferatu, right? But I had not known that was him. But I was like, oh, that's pretty neat, right? And then but in Nosferatu, he's putting on a voice, right? He's putting on an accent, right? Kind of thing.
No, that's how he talks, bro.
No, he has like this like Transylvania-esque quality to it, like this like Eastern European thing.
Okay.
More so than like his normal bass voice, right? Yeah. And then it wasn't until I watched The Vavitch, or as it's called, but in layman's terms, The Witch. I call it The Vavitch. I call it The Vavitch because it's fun to say. But I watched The Witch, and I just heard his voice, and the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, man, I wonder if he's gonna stop talking like that. Then I was like, oh my God, wait, that's just what he sounds like.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this might be the greatest Galactus I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I was not disappointed. Granted, my critique of this movie does revolve around Galactus a little bit, because I do not like the fact that his only lines are just the same thing over and over again of, I devour the worlds. Baby, you will help me not devour the worlds. Okay, I have the baby. It doesn't, because the thing is, right?
No, he says cosmic clever bugs, or what does he say?
Clever bugs, right?
Yeah,
clever bugs. That's good, right? But
dogs.
the thing is, right, with a lot of cosmic entities in Marvel, they usually talk that way to people that they don't respect or feel was worth their time, right? They're usually that detached, cold, matter of fact way because they operate on a higher plane, and similar to like somebody who's learning English and wants to be as straightforward as possible because they're not as they don't really care to learn the full language. They will use the most matter of fact statements as possible. So I understand from that perspective. If I read into it, I could look at it like that. But I do wish he had, I guess, more to him. I feel like he just kind of showed up.
Your critique of
what his
Galactus
motivation
is my
was.
critique of Ben Grimm, but
yeah,
to that. Yeah.
Where he just shows up and says what his motivation is instead of like I don't know, feeling like he has more agency. I guess.
While I feel like that's a valid critique, I also feel like Galactus is very as big of a character as he is. He's very straightforward. I eat planets. I'm about to fuck up your life. Y'all are gonna die. That's his role.
But not only that, he's like I eat planets not because I want to, but because I have to.
I have no choice.
I'm sorry. I gotta eat something.
Sorry, bro.
And that's it.
Can't help it. So having him in there, I think. Also, I feel like they're saving more for later. And AZ, you know what I'm talking about with Franklin and Galactus.
I know what happens too, bro.
Luis, you know too?
I know both.
Yeah, you know, yes, you do.
They tease the merging.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know. They'll probably get that in Doomsday, I think. More than likely. Or maybe not in Doomsday, Secret Wars. Yeah. Secret Wars probably will get the To Me, My Galactus Herald scene. But
My Galactus.
I'm gonna stand up in my chair. I'm gonna stand up in my chair, take my shirt off and spin that shit around my head, bro. It's shirt. I'll be around my head.
I do also understand that with a threat like Galactus, right? You don't want to make him too quippy because then you risk that Ultron
you lose the severity
situation, right?
Severity and intensity of what he represents.
Because he's supposed to be this detached character who doesn't necessarily feel any like real guilt over what he's doing, or he feels guilt to such an extreme extent he feels nothing else, right? So you wouldn't make him quippy like he's like reveling in it. Right, the only time where he gets close to showing a little bit of joy is when he says "clever bugs" because he thinks he's about to be fucking healed of his affliction. So he feels joy for the first time in like eons.
And also, like with the casting of Ralph Ineson, you have to have someone whose voice carries the character. You know, if Leslie Nielsen was still alive, I know his roles are all comedic roles, but if he was cast, let's say he was casting, he has a very deep voice. It's very, it's got that gravel to it. That's the kind of person you need, and I think Ralph Ineson does that so fucking well. It's perfect. He felt scary in the theater. I was like, okay, I'm a little perturbed. I'm a little scared right now.
And just so we can move on and talk on like the next topic, I think this kind of segues beautifully into it. Is one thing I really liked about Galactus is that his suit was practical. And also, they used miniatures whenever they shot all the Galactus stuff,
baby.
Which I think was beautiful. Practical filmmaking will always look better than CGI. And the fact that they made his suit practical, they used miniatures whenever they filmed all the Galactus stuff. It looked great, and I think that's a pretty common consensus all around. I think most people who see this movie, if anything they take from it, they're like, it looks great. The production design is incredible. Setting it in like a retro futuristic 60s in an alternate timeline was a perfect decision.
You make it more self-contained.
Exactly.
You don't have to be bogged down by homework of 20 other goddamn movies.
Exactly. But not only that, it gives you the opportunity to give this film a very specific visual aesthetic that is different from anything else that's come before it. And that's very and like you said, it's piggyback off what you said. And if you want to make something that's self-contained, that has no attachment to anything before it, you also want it to look and feel different than everything that's come before it. And I think it looks incredible. The costumes, the fucking sets, they built sets and you can tell it's practical. The fucking miniatures when filming Galactus, it looks so good. And Matt Shackman has my fucking respect simply from a production perspective and what he decided to do with this movie, because it would have been very easy to take the easy way out. I mean, there is CGI, obviously. but I think
it's used in ways that enhance
lack of that word.
Yeah, in ways that enhance what you're seeing, right?
Yeah,
Enhance your viewing experience, and also, this film not only does it know that it's a standout, right, for the Fantastic Four, right, and focusing on them in the narrative, but it also pays homage to like the old legacy of the Fantastic Four, right? Like in that opening montage, right? There's their old school black and blue uniforms we see for a few seconds in the news
I
footage,
love that.
and also this is really great. So while the Corman cast was hoed beyond belief, and the only one that's really celebrated is maybe like the 2000s Ian cast, right? The old school Corman Fantastic Four all have cameos as reporters throughout this movie, and I thought
Really?
that was
I
fun.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that was nice.
Wow.
That was a very nice. I didn't notice it until like my second watch, and I was like, wait a minute, why does that guy look familiar? And it's so heartfelt. It's very nice.
Incredible.
I know you.
Now, all this aside.
Oh
though,
yes,
to say-
Rebecca Staub and
Yep.
Alex
Mhm.
Hyde White. Yes.
Yep.
It says right here,
They're in
ABC
there.
newscaster and Channel 9 news reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. It truly does in that regard. I'm glad also because this film was chopped a lot, right? Cut up in various ways as Marvel was going through its
We'll talk about it when
recycling and
we get to
everything.
things that we did not like about the movie.
Oh,
But yeah.
I was trying to segue into that.
Oh,
actually.
go for it.
That was
My
my
bad.
way. But and I hadn't noticed upon my first watch, right? But upon my second one, right, where I had already known the story beats and everything, there were certain parts that I saw weren't as fleshed out that I feel were both a good and bad part of the reshoots. Right? Like one of the things that got left on the cutting room floor was the entirety of John Malkovich's part as the Red Ghost.
Oh yeah, dude, that shit
fair.
did not happen.
Which fair. Because I don't know what the fuck he was going to do in this movie, if I'm going to be entirely honest.
Who is the
right?
Red Ghost? In
Red Ghost
The Red
and his super
Red-
apes.
The Red
Ooh.
Ghost is he's this guy. He has the power to. I think it's either phase through the dimension, or like just phase through solid matter, and then he gets the upgrade to like phase through the dimension.
Isn't
But
he
yeah, and he's just a guy. He's just a guy who likes
he's a
doing
Russian
evil scientist thing.
right?
Yeah.
He's not
He's
like
one of those-
KG Beast.
He's one of those like 80s, well not 80s, but like one of those old school Red Scare McCarthy era.
Okay,
type
yeah,
of
I mean,
characters that
the first appearance was in 1963.
Yeah,
right.
so like
Red
KG
Scare
Beast.
McCarthy era, of course.
Yeah. So it's not. So like him, I understand like why he would be left out now. Is that due to John Malkovich? Because I like John Malkovich. Yeah, it's a
I
little
love
bit
John
sad.
Malkovich.
That makes me a little bit distraught.
As someone who
also
as a professional actor who has suffered
Yeah.
from cuts, and the reason
Mhm.
being, and the reason that the director gave was so that they could focus the story. I totally understand exactly why John Malkovich was cut out of the movie. It's
that's
just
exactly what I was about to say.
maybe I would have probably enjoyed seeing what he was doing. It would have been a lot of fun. But if we're being honest, it probably would have been very similar to Mole Man's role. It probably would have been very small, not very important, not very significant to the plot. And they were like, you know what?
Right.
Let's just get rid of it. Let's focus the story more. Focus it on the family. Focus it on their journey. Focus it on them and their struggle to try to protect this world and being unable to, and what that does to a person, what that does to the smartest man in the world, what it does to his rock, and what it does to their family unit. And I think that was a good choice. But yes, you're right. It was cut to shit.
Oh man, dude, I'm very stupid because when you said his rock, I forgot you meant his wife. I thought you were talking about Ben.
I was talking about Ben.
Now, before we pivot to the next topic, I want to just compare and contrast real quick with another one of our favorite comic book movies. That is Superman, that came out like weeks before this. We talked about, the practical effects, the CGI, and everything involving that. While it is hard to do practical effects with a guy who can fly at Mach 10 and fucking lift planets and all types of cool shit, I do think that Superman was handled with enough care that versus the previous regime's Superman film, god awful. We're not going to talk about that because I don't feel like it. I think you can safely compare and contrast these two. because James Gunn's knowledge of the character, James Gunn's care of the character, and then using the what he had at his disposal, the CGI, using for those flight scenes, having the costumes look like the way they did. I think that the Fantastic Four film that we just watched does a good job of meeting that, if not exceeding that.
Okay, interesting point.
Simply because, and to start with the costumes, I do love these costumes. Let's look at Superman's suit real quick. I love this costume. It's probably my favorite Superman costume right now, outside of when Brandon Routh was Kingdom Come Superman in the TV show and the CW show.
In the CW, what was it?
In the bullshit.
Bullshit.
The same logo, by the way. But then looking at our Fantastic Four over here, these costumes look so. First of all, they fit the time frame that's supposed to be in this.
These costumes are so incredible, dude.
So
I'd
good.
say
They fit the Fantastic Four's first appearance, right? But these are the original costumes they had. They fit the time of the movie, and I think it was super important to make them kind of the retro classic costumes because it helps distinguish them from previous iterations of the movie. They're like, hey guys, this is different. This is not what you remember.
The original the 2005.
Yeah.
If we count, actually, let's count the 94 Fantastic Four. We know it's unreleased. Those costumes are probably the next, like the closest to
these.
And the closest to these for sure. But then you see the 2005 Fantastic Four. It looks indicative of the time that we were in.
Very streamlined, very sleek, right? Very simplistic, but
very
also
Bryan
muted
Singer
colors.
X-Men.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Bryan Singer leather racing suit X-Men costume.
Because that was back when comic book movies weren't mainstream, so they wanted to play it safe and do what works, right? Because
something more palatable.
Yeah, exactly. And with these ones, for the love of God, I have no problem with texture in my suits. I like it. I welcome it because you can't really demonstrate that frame by frame in animation very well because then it's time consuming. And with a comic, it's very hard to detail and get that issue out on time if you make all these little textures, right? But I am sick and fucking tired of every MCU fucking suit looking like they scalped the Spalding basketball. I'm tired of it. It's just got lines everywhere. There's isolated bits of color that are supposed to be like a homage to that color placement in the comics, but then it's just too busy. It's gross.
It seems
stupid.
It seems like they're kind of getting like they're getting over that, right? Like we saw with the Sentries. We saw with the Sentries costume and Thunderbolts. It's not 101, but it's a pretty comic accurate. It's modernized, but it looks good. It's slick and it fits the time period.
The separations, right, where they have this different arts of stitching and how it kind of has like this space age turtlenecky kind of retro future feel, like really just the turtlenecks mainly. Oh my god, beautiful. The white gloves being these large separate pieces. Ah man, it reminds me of God, what am I thinking of? The Pit Boy suits, the Vault suits from Fallout. That's probably another reason why I'm sheeple for some Fallout. But man, I really like this. I really like this from a design standpoint. Herbie, I'm not necessarily too keen on. I do like how his face looking like a cassette player is diegetic to the story because he has different programs, right? Because he's not an all-encompassing thing. So I do like that aspect. I do wish though that he had the kind of like derpy little like digital face that I'm used to, but this is also fine. And this also the use of the Thing's beard, right? Of him growing out
like
the Rocky beard
too.
to fill out the rest of the spacing on the Thing's jaw to make him a little bit more comic accurate instead of just making him like this stocky Michael Chiklis-esque thing. It makes him distinct, right, for this continuity, but it also gives a little like wink to those people who know where it's like, you thought we were gonna make his head look like a weird little freak. No. He grows give him a beard. It's different. I like that. Everything design-wise, the Fantastic Car also amazing. I like how it's
the Fantastic Car was sexy,
old school
bro.
convertible.
It's
my god!
Good. Dude, first of all, whenever we got the Fantastic Car in the 2007 movie, it was like this. I mean,
it was literally a Mercedes. It was literally a Mercedes. I think
it was a Dodge.
Oh, it was a Dodge. He's like Dodge. He's like, it was on sale.
He said Hemi?
Hemi?
Of course.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is like, this is by far the coolest thing you've ever done. And I was like, this shit looks like shit from a butt.
Shit from a butt.
Shit from a butt.
Just matte silver. Ugh.
I just want to say, since we're talking about kind of like the production and kind of like the feel for it and everything, I just want to give a shout out to the director, Matt Shackman, who I think is responsible for a lot of this. You know, it's like, he's done a lot of TV. It's kind of like his history.
Yes,
he hasn't done
filmography pulled up. It's like a string of TV shows.
Monarch,
2 feature films, but
go for it.
You may list it off.
Go for it.
Got it pulled up over here.
You got it pulled up.
Hit it.
I got you. Give me 1 second.
I got it right here. Wait, I got you.
My brother.
So here's what we got. He's got Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, the Apple TV Plus show. He's got stuff like The Consultant TV show. Welcome to Chippendales, that FX show, which was all right. WandaVision, which he kind of held him as the showrunner of. People divisive. I thought it was great. Then he's got the show The Great, Succession, The Boys, Billions, Game of Thrones, and he's directed a fuck ton of episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he's directed Fargo.
That's all I needed to hear.
The Good Wife. I know you and your Fargo. Exactly.
Always Sunny.
So he's a veteran TV director, and kind of what put him on Marvel's map was the fact that he helmed and show ran and directed and basically created WandaVision, which by the majority of assessments is good to okay.
I want to blame most of it on studio interference for my problems with that.
Yes,
honestly.
If you disregard the studio interference as hard as you can, WandaVision's not bad. Out of all the MCU shows we got up until whatchamacallit?
Ironheart.
What the fuck did we just watch? Ironheart. My bad. I'm always wrong.
Yeah, bro. I got you.
Ironheart. Appreciate you, dog. Up until Ironheart, every other MCU show, save for Loki. I'm also save Loki because Loki was not bad. Season 2 was great.
It's fire. Yeah.
Every show outside of WandaVision, Ironheart, and Loki is not good. And what do we have in WandaVision? Matt Shackman, aka Shaquille O'Neal.
Shacked in a fool, baby.
Shacked in a fool. Shacked in America.
Hey.
Lights, camera, Shackman.
Shacked in. Oh, I'm changing the title of this episode.
Boom, shakalaka.
Okay. We soiled it. But all this to say that while WandaVision feels like a very by the numbers kind of corporate piece, right? It goes to show that with this, Matt Shackman is being the embodiment of our motto of let competent people
But
cook.
I think regardless of how you feel about WandaVision, I think it was a very inventive idea. You know, I like WandaVision.
I did
quite a lot, actually.
First of all, because it introduced the GOAT, Tiana Paris.
Sure, exactly. But it's like, regardless of how you feel about it, I think it was very inventive. I thought it was a very cool idea, and I think what really got Marvel excited was that it was very well made. It looked great. The production value was great. The costuming was great. And I think that you can really see that transition from WandaVision with a much bigger budget for actual MCU movie into Fantastic Four. And I think that was and look, dude, this is the motherfucker who the MCU
so good. They said they're gonna put him on the X-Men.
This is the motherfucker who the MCU said we trust with our X-Men series. So I think that speaks a lot to kind of like what their vision of the MCU is going forward. The fact that they picked Matt Shackman to helm such an important, vital part of the MCU moving forward, I think speaks to the work that he does. Right.
I'm gonna take it a step further. X-Men is going to be the biggest step forward in the MCU.
It's gonna make $2 billion. That first MCU X-Men movie is making $3 trillion, bro.
It has to be done to a level of care that we have not seen before. Because mind you, we've had from 2000 until when was the last Foxman movie? If we don't count the Deadpool films, 2016, Dark Phoenix. 19.
Oh yeah, Dark Phoenix. Oh God, I forgot those exist.
So, am I muted still? There we go. So, if we don't count the Deadpool films, we've had roughly 20 years of just mismanagement. There are cool moments in the X-Men Foxmen movies, but overall it's poorly
realistically
done,
I think the closest we've gotten to like a faithful X-Men adaptation, they've been one of those. Not even just that. I mean, like within like a visual like television or film medium, right? The closest we've got is like I was gonna say like not even those I really can give credit to. I would say more so
Logan.
Along the lines of
97.
like I was gonna say 97 if Matt didn't interrupt me for the 80th time back to back.
Just saying,
Jesus Christ.
Because you're talking no, hold on, because 97 is released under Marvel. And that's a different
exactly. But he's saying that that's
what I'm saying. But I'm saying
solely that
I'm saying for
Brian
gotcha.
Bullshit up until
non-MCU fair,
and right, and I'm saying
for those 20 years has been been mishandled, you know.
And then you look on the even broader scope and how it really seems only in animation that they're really done justice. It just seems like this team studios are taking this note. This studio, a lot of studios take the
we got him.
A lot of studios take the approach of like these characters must just be unpalatable. That's the thing. It's not the medium that's the problem. It's the story and the people that you're putting to be in charge of helming that narrative. And I feel like based on how well Shackman was able to capture different eras of pop culture with WandaVision, right? And then how he has the aesthetic of this, all right, as the retro futuristic kind of pseudo 60s vibe. He's really good at capturing a feeling similar to the director of F1 and the other things.
Kaczynski.
Kaczynski, right? He's got that Kaczynski touch of he's able to capture a feeling of feeling, right? But with a little bit more elevation, I would say, than Kaczynski personally. But
hey, you're wrong, but whatever.
Really capturing that feeling and making you feel something for these characters and giving that intimate storytelling that the X-Men mythos definitely needs. So I think that is the biggest positive to come out of this. However, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
To tack onto that ever so slightly. I know we cook you for liking cartoons, but I cannot lie. I did enjoy X-Men Evolution, Wolverine, and the X-Men. I was locked the fuck.
Those are incredible.
Right.
Those are incredible
Except
adaptations.
we're adults now. That's the difference.
And
we're not children.
I still like it. Because why? Also, you know why I have to? You know what it has to compete with? Let's not count First Class and Days of Future Past because those films are anomalies. They're so good. I remember when we watched First Class. That's the first film I saw, and I was like, I need to watch this again. It was so good. The cast was elite. James McAvoy is a phenomenal Charles Xavier. Michael Fassbender, having him attached to your film, I think him as Magneto. I love Ian McKellen. Michael Fassbender's my Magneto.
He had more to do. Those X-Men movies become Magneto movies. I mean, he's the most interesting character. He's the most interesting characters in those dog shit abysmal movies. He's the best actor in those.
That scene of him in the bar. That scene of him made people want an entire movie that is just Magneto.
That scene of him in the forest killing those soldiers,
bro, with the chain, with the necklace.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Come on, bro. Come on. Anyway,
beautiful. But all of this to say that the X-Men are in good hands and that Shackman is a very more than competent.
Exactly, but not only Shackman, like the creative team behind Fantastic Four First Steps.
Exactly.
I think because Eric Pearson, one of the co-writers on this movie, is writing the newest version of the much maligned Blade script. Eric Pearson's previous credits. Here's his most popular credits he's known for. Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
banger. All right. Okay.
I won.
Black Widow, which I like. I like Black Widow. Thunderbolts.
I won.
Fantastic Four First Steps. Look, regardless of how you feel about those movies,
3 or 4.
I think exactly at least 3 out of those 4 movies are solid to great, are good to great MCU movies.
Black Widow only suffered because it was released during pandemic time.
Exactly.
It didn't hit the theaters. and then the CGI was kind of boo boo whenever she was doing that backflip off the big ass thing.
anyway,
Anthony, what's it called? Taskmaster was mishandled
Dog
because
shit,
why did they do that shit wrong? Anyways, but otherwise, that's a good film.
But Eric Pearson, so he's right now, he's the latest writer to tackle the new Blade script, which I think says a lot for like this creative team of the Fantastic Four First Steps. And I think that the MCU and Kevin Feige are putting a lot of faith onto this team and kind of to propel or like carry on their shoulders lies the future of the MCU moving forward. And I think they are very talented, and I'm glad that they're the shepherds of the MCU moving forward.
The heralds. You almost said heralds.
I almost said heralds. Yeah, that they're the shepherds of the MCU moving forward. Yeah.
Inshallah.
But should we talk about like basically like what we've liked, what we thought about the movie? Do you guys think a good time to talk about like what we did not like?
That's a fantastic time. Let's talk about the missteps of First Steps because
brother, I got missteps out the walls. I got them.
Can I go first because I was very passionate about this in the group chat, and then I'll let you cook.
Luis, cook away.
Okay. My biggest kind of like gripe with this movie is how they handled Ben Grimm.
Agreed.
I think, and David was fighting tooth and nail, and I respect it, and I see all his points vividly, and I respect him and I love him. He's completely wrong. Ben as usual, exactly. Ben was wildly love you, David. Ben was wildly mishandled in this movie. I think he was pushed to the side and completely forgotten about and disregarded. The whole side story about him and Natasha Lyonne's character was cut to shit. That they have 2 scenes together, and then they completely forget about her. They don't humanize Ben in any way. They try mediocrely to do so. They show him in front of a TV screen where it shows him before the transformation.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
As Ebon Moss-Bachrach, and then it cuts to black into reflection of his face and it's like, okay, I understand what you're going for. My biggest problem is that they don't. Ben never not once tells us what he's feeling, what he's going through, how he feels about this whole situation. In fact, he's always super supportive and encouraging of everybody, which I understand and I get, but it makes his character incredibly one-dimensional to me because we don't know how he feels about himself, how he feels about the accident, how he feels about how Reed is handling being a father. You know, he's just an accessory to Reed and Sue and Johnny, and he's an afterthought. And I know that is a kind of like a cutting issue. I know they tried to they had a storyline where they kind of developed his character a little bit more, and I wish they would have kept it because it would have made him feel more well-rounded. He feels very flat, very one-dimensional, and not very well thought out. I love Ebon. Yeah. I think Ebon does an incredible job with what he's given, but I think it's little to nothing. I think it's very
and to tack onto that, because we've seen Ebon in The Bear, we've seen the character development of Richie.
We see him in fucking Andor, where he just died. He has more character.
Ebon is one of the best actors working today, and they underutilize the shit 100%.
And it's amazing with Ben Grimm. To me, Ben Grimm is the heart of the Fantastic Four.
Yes,
he's the one 1,000%. Character whose powers are the one character's powers are not like normal powers. Reed, Sue, and Johnny can all live normal lives if they wanted to. Ben has been changed inside and out, but he still maintains his humanity as this rock monster. And that's one of the things that I'll give the 2005 and 2007 Fantastic Fours a little bit of credit, because even though Ben turned into the Thing, he was still Ben Grimm at the end of the day.
But they focus a lot of him on Michael Chiklis's Ben is the thing.
Yeah, they do. They do follow.
No pun intended. That's the thing. Like they spend a lot of time on him and how he's feeling and what's going through his head and his heart and kind of how he's dealing with all these situations. And I know that this is set 4 years after the incident, and they're kind of all settled into this like new life about them. But like we know
they should still be feeling. You know, even if it's 4 years after I get superpowers, I'm still gonna be like, damn, what the hell happened? My life is different. I'm
exactly
this all powerful
right.
being now.
Because it is a still like majorly pivotal event, right? Because regardless of how well it turned out for the Ford, this is still a traumatic event. Anybody who goes through trauma of any kind, whether that's like losing a loved one or your own personal trauma, regardless of how long it's been, that still affects you in some way. And with the way that this movie is cut, there's that scene where it's him and Reed sitting on the balcony talking about what they're going to be able to do. And he's like, I'm sorry that I couldn't cure you. And then he just says it's fine, which would be fine if there was some kind of arc for Ben, right? But instead, it just feels like it just feels like the fucking people who make the movie telling the audience, hey, shut up.
Don't worry about it.
With this. He's fine with it. He's not complaining. Why are you? It's so fucking stupid.
05 Fantastic Four, even 2015, as shit as it is, it manages to hit that note too. Ben is like, I'm this rock monster, and Reed's like, I promise, I swear to you, I'm gonna fix it. I swear to you, I'm gonna fix it. Obviously, he can't. There's nothing he can do about it. As smart as Reed is, he cannot change what Ben has turned into. And I feel like not including that portion in this, not showing Ben's inner turmoil, dealing with the fact that he's lost a part of his humanity, that's a misstep. That's a mistake.
But not only that, it's like not only that, it's like okay, if you're gonna double down and make Ben be like, actually, it's cool, it's fine, I'm over it. That's fine. Give us more of that. Give us more of, and we see, and I know he interacts with the kids and he lifts the car and whatever, and he meets the teacher, but it just feels so haphazard because it's like actually he does embrace it and he loves it. And look, he's meeting this teacher and he's actually going out of his way to interact with her, and he's not embarrassed and he's not ashamed and he's not scared. Oh, but guess what? Fuck you. We're cutting that entire storyline out of the movie. And it's like, okay, so what do I learn? What do I learn about Ben?
Nothing.
It's like, what growth has Ben exhibited? Nothing.
Because everybody in here has something pivotal, right? Reed is the smart man, right? He literally makes machines to teleport the Earth. Sue, his lightning rod, and literally gives birth to like the main MacGuffin of this movie. To God.
MCU
right?
God.
They even went so far as to revamp Johnny to give him an actual reason to be there that none of the other movies have done for the past 30 goddamn years of this IP, or even the comics to a degree. Johnny more so finds his place in the world when he's a member of the Fantastic Four versus before the accident happens, right? But the movies have not fleshed him out for a reason to fucking be in the goddamn room. It would be like if Oppenheimer had everybody at the Manhattan Project and then there's just Adam Sandler, the janitor.
Yeah.
Why would he be there? There's exactly.
Hold on. We need that now. We need Adam Sandler just dropped into random ass movies.
It would be better. It would be better than the dog shit he's making for Netflix.
Exactly.
Catch our review of Happy Gilmore.
It's amazing that I just find it so fucking fascinating that in a movie full of four main crucial characters, and you give them all things to do, the one you don't give a thing to is the thing.
Yeah,
things are his thing.
Yeah,
he has nothing. He has the depth of a dried puddle. Like it's nothing.
Exactly.
It's less than nothing.
Yeah, it was so frustrating because it's like that's the character who has the most like that he's dealing with and coping with. Right? It's like all his problems are kind of like surface level and they're very obvious and they're very apparent. And it's like that's like a gold mine for a writer, right? Because you deal with otherness and difference and kind of like physical appearance and body dysmorphia. Like there's so much you can say and do with this character, and they just completely throw it out the window. And look, the movie works. It's fine. I understand it. I get it. And we're just nitpicking here, right? Because we like the movie so much. But it just and David had mentioned, and I will just give David credit for this. He did mention, he's like, well, they're saving all that stuff for later movies. And look, that's fair. I get it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not watching later movies right now. I'm watching this movie. Yeah, exactly. I'm watching this movie right now.
Like,
give me a character arc. Give me a character that I care about today, not 2 years from now. Give it to me right now.
If I order off the entree section of a menu, do not give me a fucking appetizer.
Yeah, exactly.
That is insulting.
Yes, exactly. Don't give me a fucking
2
side.
points real quick. So the thing with touching back on the 0507 Fantastic Fours, remember that scene where Ben comes home after being changed into the thing, and he's trying to talk to his wife at the time, Debbie.
Debbie played by the incredible. You don't know her name? I was teeing y'all up.
I don't know who Debbie. I don't know who Debbie. I know who Kerry Washington is.
She's Kerry Washington.
No, she's Alicia.
No, that's Alicia.
I'm talking about Debbie. Debbie, who a fake fan allegations. In the chat. The allegations. In the chat.
The allegations. They're right.
We got them. We got them, boys.
Whenever they won. The haters
won. Whenever he comes home, he's like, "Babe, I've changed. Something's different. I got a surprise for you." Right. And she's like, "Oh my god!" And she runs into traffic. Then the scene on the bridge where she puts the ring down, and he can't even fucking pick it up. That shit hurt me so bad.
Yeah,
but like.
It hurts unless you think about like why she came all the way there to do that.
We don't really.
We don't talk about it. Because the script said it had to happen. That's why.
But it still at least gives him like some depth. I
yeah. It gives him something to do,
some agency,
as opposed to being an accessory to the rest of these characters. Yeah, because like I had mentioned in the group chat with David, it's like whenever Sue's giving birth in the ship. It's just like Ben, come, and then Ben leaves the fucking piloting the ship, which is incredibly important to go help Sue give birth, which is also important. But he's just like at the beck and call of all these characters. He's just there. He's babysitting. He's cooking with Herbie. He's helping Sue deliver the baby. Well, what about him? What about his life? What about his wants, his needs, his kind of motivations and stuff like that? You know, it's just I just wish they would have fleshed that out a little bit. But Daisy had mentioned something about Galactus and kind of like one of the main issues you had about the movie. What was it?
Yeah, really quick. Yeah. I was saying how I don't necessarily want him to be speaking full sentences because even in the comics, the only people he respects is like the only people he really respects is like Reed and like 10 other niggas, right?
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's
right.
That.
And then also like his daughter, I guess. Like he talks to Galactus.
Better stop that vehicle.
He talks to Galactus sometimes, right? But he doesn't really. He's a man of very few words, right? But I do find it less annoying when I'm reading the words compared to like in the movie that already has like lacking character development for like Ben, right? To where instead of like. To where, like, the same reaction that we had, Luis, where he's talking to Reed on that balcony, he's just like, I'm fine with it, where it felt like to me, to the audience.
Like,
felt like
good, bro.
they didn't know necessarily what to give Galactus as dialogue, so he just says his motivation every time he's on screen.
I'm just like, I need something to stop my hunger.
He's like, I want the baby. Give me the baby.
Snickers,
Is this a baby? Can I have the baby? Give me the baby.
That's interesting, and I'll give it to you, and I'll let you have it. I think it works.
I think
because I think what Max Shackman and the writers were doing, what Ralph Ineson was doing, was like Galactus is this all-powerful force,
right?
Who's only motivated by hunger, by eating, right? We know this. We know this from the comics.
Nigga greedy as fuck.
That's not personal. He feels he doesn't kill these people because he wants to. He has to, right? So he's just like, I'm hungry. I eat. I must feast. But now. Here comes this. But look, here's this baby who contains the power cosmic, who can end his hunger. And so it's like that's a big thing for him. You know, it's a big deal. So he's like, I need that fucking baby. Oh,
why is he
Trump?
After a child?
On his Trump shit?
Oh. The age of consent does not extend to outer space.
He was on the files. Hashtag check the files. Hashtag check his hard drive.
Hashtag delicious.
Galactus was on the Lolita Ace.
Hashtag Galactus on Epstein's island.
Galactus.
It's just like all of them like on the island.
Galactus
like,
Maxwell.
It's like how Galactus can swap out his face.
We got him.
It's like all the normal billionaires and the 900-foot tall Galactus in a pair of swim trunks. Don't forget to massage the feet.
Like, I didn't see a 900-foot tall celestial there. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. There was no celestial at Epstein's Island.
I know. I think that's very fair. I think that's fair. I think for a character who's as important as kind of like and as significant to the Fantastic Four role as Galactus, I'll give you that. They probably could have given him.
I would have preferred.
And for as great an actor as Ralph Ineson is, they probably could have given him a little bit more. Yeah.
If he said something along the lines of just different, because it felt like he just literally said the same thing every single time. If he said something like, "I do not do this out of malice. You are insignificant."
Yes.
Like just small things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Made
just
him a little bit
broader
more
range. Right, where he's where he literally has that energy of I've been in the same career for 30 years. I know nothing else. Like I want that. I want that energy to Galactus. The closest I get to like a bit of the Galactus that I like is when he feels a modicum of joy because his baby vision, which is a power he has, we'll look into it. But check his hard drive.
Hey,
but
bro, he's not helping his case, bro. He's not helping his case, bro.
But when Galactus Maxwell activates his baby vision and he before he falls for the trap the Fantastic Four is setting and he steps across that line, he feels a modicum of joy and he cracks a little quip and he's like, "Clever bugs," and then he walks the fuck off. Thought that was fun. Yeah. I thought that was a bit of nuance to him, and also the visual of him coming back out of the portal was kind of scary. It did get me a little bit. I was like, "Oh no, they're dead. They're all going to die."
Just something. I know this is like stuff that we didn't. Oh, just something that I know we're talking about stuff we didn't like. Something that I did like that I will mention. I liked the final battle between the final battle between Galactus and the Fantastic Four. I think it really showcased their powers well. Right? It's like they all had their little moment. Reed and his stretchy powers and kind of and like stabbing the spear into like his exhaust ports and flipping him. The thing, Ben running into the columns of the building, having that fall over so Galactus could fall into the teleporter. Sue fucking carrying the fucking team. She solo ulted. And like I really liked how Max Shackman and the writers kind of really like let each character have their own moment to kind of be like and to let the audience be like, oh, that's what they can do. That's so cool. Because up to this point, we've only had Reed kind of use his brain, Ben lift the car for fun, and that's it. So it's really cool to see them all apply those powers in a practical setting. That was really cool.
I think that might be my dislike comes in.
No,
I need more.
I might say the same thing.
More of it.
Exactly what I was about to say.
Because in 2005 Fantastic Four, we get a Reed who's like he knows what he's doing with his powers. He turns into this like he turns this wrap and wraps around Victor. He turns this like spigot to spray the water on Victor. A spigot. Spigot. Hey. And then in the 2007 Fantastic Four, they're in London. He stretches to incredible lengths to hold the London. If for those of you who are not from the UK, who've never been to the UK, who don't know what the London Eye looks
like,
don't
go.
Sorry to our UK.
No,
listeners.
but this movie had a cool moment where Galactus is stretching Reed to his limit.
It's a big ass Ferris wheel, a giant Ferris wheel, and Ewan Gruffudd is stretching all across that shit.
I just remember that scene. Together. It's cool as shit.
I said, bro,
it's so goddamn cool.
Now, when Reed is getting stretched by Galactus, obviously that's against his will. So, of course, he's not going to be stretching to his full capacity. But I do want to see more.
No ball, bro.
But I do want to see more. I want to see him do some crazy ass, like he throw his arm all the way across a fucking country,
but
stretch to grab some shit.
That's kind of part of my gripe, Matt, because I also feel like everybody's powers are pretty cool. Johnny's powers, where he does
underutilized.
Where he does that putting out of the fire at the start.
That was cool.
That was so badass. That is the best that effect has looked in years in any medium of just a dude on fire.
Not only that,
like
him putting out that fire and then him when the power goes off and him
on his body.
Flaming on and lighting up the room. That was cool.
Oh,
but I feel like he wasn't very effective or incredibly underutilized during
outside of those
fight,
two
right?
scenes.
Yeah. Right. But Reed is the least stretchy I have ever seen this man be in a
Yes,
film.
it felt like Galactus barely
Does it
stretched
look
his
good?
ass.
Does it look good in this? Absolutely.
It
But
looks
it's not
good.
used enough.
It looks good, but also he does long arm and he does long leg. But you know what I was waiting for, man? Big
Long
hand.
body.
Where's
Big
big
hand.
hand? Where is big hand?
Bro,
I
wrap
don't
around
see
No, where's
Galactus. What are we doing?
Hey, AZ.
Oh my
we
God.
play AZ. We play rivals. Where's Big
Give him the
Chest?
fridge.
Okay,
Give him the fridge body, bro. Give him literally
fuck him
anything.
in that game. Fuck that move. It pisses me off.
Why didn't he yell?
No, he in that game he's indestructible, bro. It's ridiculous. It's so annoying.
What he doesn't. But that's the thing. Like with Ben Grimm, you don't have to do really much with his power. He's big, strong man,
He's strong,
and he does big,
yeah.
strong things, right?
Big-ass
Johnny
igneous rock.
flies fast, flame man. He doesn't do a whole lot with it, but he does enough. Reed
Bullshit.
is so much more than just stretchy guy. He has complete control over the density of his body, so he could essentially
over every
channel
atom in his
every atom of his body. So what he can do is he can essentially take the nerve endings of different parts of his body and channel them to different parts. Like in the comics, in one really horrifying thing where he takes his eyes and channels them to the end of his fingers
AZ,
and makes like fucking
bro.
little like I don't even know what you
about
call
to
it, like a colonoscopy camera with his hands or some shit. Like it's horrifying, but it's awesome.
There's a comic where he
The
stretches
binoculars where he does the
his
giant
eyes.
eyes. Yes, dude. His powers are so versatile, and I get
My
it.
dream,
You
my dream where his penis is 8 feet long.
even this is the thing. They also have a joke about that in the comic
Mr.
about
Cock-
how
They really do.
yeah.
Mr. Cocktastic.
But even down to this man's
Mr.
fucking mushroom
Dong-tastic.
tip, right?
Dong-tastic.
He is still-
I'm changing my name right now.
even down to like his cock and balls, Reed Richards' power extends. And I understand you want to like save something for Doomsday and Secret Wars, and I get that, but like
Breaking news. The script of the Fantastic Four of Doomsday is so incomplete that it's kind of like gone over the allotted time that they were allowed to shoot. That Reed Richards has been like his role has been significantly cut from Doomsday, and he's no longer in the show. From what reporting that I saw, we still have to confirm it. I don't know if that's true. I saw some reporting saying that he's no longer because
look. If they give me Big Hand, I will put my pride aside, and
if they give me the Miss Marvel special.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we got more from Miss Marvel.
Bro.
We got more from Miss Marvel doing that in Big In than we did from Reed Richards. Which
But
is
it's just
in Big In.
But
yeah, I'm not gonna get me.
It's just their powers are cool, but they don't really do as much with them. The spotlight, of course, being Sue, because during her earlier runs in the comic, she was just she was literally just like in the first appearances of Fantastic Four, the Invisible Girl, and her only power that she's doing on that front cover where they're fighting Gigantos. That's the homage to the movie.
Which
the
movie
right?
reference.
And they do reference it, right? Because she's actually putting up a force field to like push Giganto back, right? And the way that they reconciled this was not only giving her more of a fleshed out character, but they also pulled the Marvel Rivals and they buffed the shit out of her. And
she was powerful.
She had Galactus. Galactus had to lock back in. His eyes went from glowing to just normal, and he was
regular.
Like, from the this man was grabbing onto the
He said,
"But AZ, you're not understanding. That's the power of motherhood."
Dude, genuinely, is that
corny
bitch,
as fuck.
He's amazing.
I fuck with it, bro. I like
very corny.
I saw this tweet.
I
saw this tweet that was like, Vanessa Kirby's doing incredible face acting in Fantastic Four, and I was like, she sure is. It's a great face. It's a great face. Why would you not?
All I've seen is like TikTok edits where it's just her doing like the Vogue poses.
Yes, that's so fucking funny.
It's so fucking funny.
She does the.
There's one where she just goes. Kind of like, bro.
Yes, that's it.
Who you saving with that?
It's when she's using her powers. Her powers, I think, not in the montage, but the maybe it is
the piss cam is back.
Yeah,
the piss cam is back. Let's go.
No, fuck, no. God damn it! I thought I had muted my mic. Fuck. We got him.
This second episode, we got him pissing on.
God damn
Oh
it.
my god.
This shit better go viral, dude.
Bro, this shit.
God damn it, dude.
We are a pop culture and urology podcast.
Yeah, pop culture and urology, pop culture and penis podcast.
Luis, when he goes to the bathroom, bro.
Next time.
You need to add my piss stream to the soundboard.
That no.
Release the piss
Oh
cut.
my
Release
god.
the piss cut.
Hashtag
That
release
no.
the piss cut.
That no sounded like how Shala Ball must have felt when she saw Galactus over her planet. Which, by the way, speaking of powers, I know it's still supposed to be the things we don't like corner, but that sequence of her going through every single one of those relays, just order farming so hard that it detonates. Beautiful.
Bro, when she was swagged the fuck out. First of all, I think having Julia Garner, Shala Ball, Silver Surfer in this movie was a great choice because we didn't get too much from Doug Jones in the previous iteration. He did aura farm hard as fuck when Johnny was chasing him.
Bro, he's the goat of aura farming. What are you talking about?
Bro was on the surfer.
Oh my god.
He went down. He said, "All right, bet." And he phased through the missiles. He phased through the buzz. He sucked up that missile. I was like, "This nigga swagged the fuck out."
But honestly, bro, it does not match up to her surfing on the fucking
bro. She was surfing on the lava
flames, bro.
Shit looked that shit looked like an Ultimate Alliance screen.
They made her surfboard practical. They made it make sense.
And she was
angry.
I
was like, she's not doing a lot of surfing. She's just kind of flying. And then when she's going off the event horizon of the black hole,
she said, we'll show you her
surfing. She said,
oh my God.
Watch this.
Beautiful.
Hey.
Beautiful.
Fucking up.
Now,
man. I needed that.
Can I talk about something before we get to our ratings so we can start wrapping this up?
Yeah,
gotcha.
I didn't see the second end post-credit scene because I had work the following morning.
It's a cartoon.
It was late as shit, and so I only saw the first one, which was the important one. How do y'all feel about that post-credit scene? Really quick.
First one,
so we can the Doctor Doom. The Doctor Doom one.
The first one is very relevant because, first of all, if you don't know, now you will. That was Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. That was dead ass Robert Downey Jr. as Doom.
No, the fuck it wasn't, bitch. It was a fucking PA.
No, they confirmed it. The director confirmed it.
They confirmed it.
They confirmed it. I said, there's no way that's Robert Downey Jr. for 2 seconds. No, they confirmed it. I was like, bitch, fucking crazy.
For $80 million, I'd show up. For $80 million, I'd show up for 5 minutes on the set of.
And he plays 12 minutes for 5 minutes radio.
For 30 seconds for him to be on the screen and take the mask off. This nigga made more money than I've ever made in my entire life. That's fucking crazy. Now,
look, to be fair,
let me
just say, to be fair,
is a bastard, and after Franklin for the rest of the MCU. This shit means so much to me. It means a lot. I know it means a lot to AZ because AZ's a Doom enjoyer.
Graham loves AZ. So brother, bummed he's not here for this episode.
I know.
Let me just say before AZ cooks really quick. The MCU's been through a lot of shit trying to drop Jonathan Majors and completely dropping the Kang storyline and kind of pivoting to Doom. I'm locked in, bro. I'm hyped for Doomsday. I'm sorry. Seeing Doom kneel in front of Franklin and have Franklin, Graham said in the group chat, heal his face while he's holding the mask in his hand. Bro, I'm there, baby. I'm locked.
Now here's my thought. I don't know necessarily if Franklin healed his face automatically, because I feel like much more of a fun reason, because Dr. Doom is not a man who will get his own hands dirty if he can help it.
Right.
And if he and woe betide the poor soul that makes Dr. Doom get out of his gamer chair, right? But I feel like, and this is just my thought, right? When the reason why the mask is off, right, is because there's some kind of monitor or screen, and that's a Doom bot. I feel like that's a Doombot talking to Franklin and taking him away, right? Because if you're Doctor Doom, right, even though you have all of this power, you are still breaking into the home of 4-year-old God and his family of very powerful people, one of which just beat the shit out of a cosmic force of nature and trapped it on the other side of the universe. So you don't want to bring yourself to that, because what if the baby views you as a threat and just turns you to goo, right? You want to be as nice as possible.
So in your head,
a robot as a proxy.
So your theory is more, it's like recon type shit.
Exactly.
Right? He just sent a Doombot to go check out Franklin, see what he's about, see what kind of like the security is in the Baxter building is, which is obviously dog shit if a Doombot was able to get in.
Which also would feed into my other theory, which is the little sight gags they have at the UN where they always show the Latveria seats empty.
That shit was funny as fuck, bro. They were like, look, here's Latveria. There's nobody there.
There was literally like some big black guy like 2 rows behind me that was like talking almost the whole movie, but he just said out loud, "That nigga don't give a fuck." And I was like,
no, bro.
He really doesn't.
He really don't.
With that Latveria suit too. Remember in 2015 we got Doom, who allegedly grew up with the Fantastic Four.
Boo!
It was
so
so bad.
I hate that dog shit ass.
It was so
make
we
them
don't
friends,
talk about
bro.
that
Fuck
one.
that. Just
No,
make them
we
college
gotta
roommates. Make them college roommates.
We gotta address it.
But this is
the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I feel like even without Doom appearing in this movie and him being in that post-credit scene for like 5 seconds, it is the best Doom interpretation we got. Because hear me out.
R.I.P.
Vince
the
McMahon,
guy who played him in the original.
Julian McMahon.
Julian McMahon.
You said Vince McMahon? Hold on.
Yeah, that's the devil.
Julian McMahon. I thought
That's
that Doom, honestly.
No, he was
not
cool.
bad.
I thought he was awesome.
Everyone says he's not a good Doom. I think he was great. He was swagged out.
For the world of that film, he's good.
He reminds me of
I agree.
Elon
For
Musk,
the world of that film,
Elon Musk was cool and was not a bitch, and he had a good mindset. And
so if Elon Musk was an Elon,
exactly. So especially in the first movie, he's probably my favorite Doom because his motivations make sense. He's cool. He's like, I fucking hate. He's basically like, he looks at Reed. He's like, I fucking hate you, Reed. I'm gonna take your bitch. I'm gonna fucking turn into a villain. I hate you.
I'm gonna
nigga.
take your bitch and I'm gonna destroy the world, bro.
He said, "Fuck you. Look at me. I got superpowers." But then you have wasn't he Toby Kebbell? He's a great actor. He's a great actor. Let me
Victor Domachev?
You mean
King
Kong?
Let me start off with this. He's a great actor. Yes. However, worst fucking Doom I've ever seen in my goddamn life. This motherfucker showed up. He was an incel. He was in his basement, and Franklin Storm had to come and say, "Hey, come and get us. Come get out your basement, nigga. Come get out your basement. Come do smart shit, nigga." And then he comes in and he gets a haircut. He takes his first shower in 30 years, and motherfucker starts talking. He says, "Fuck the project. What we're doing?" He says, "Sue, what you doing? What's good, Sue?
Baby,
Where you at, baby? What's up, baby?
I don't want to sports clips and put on. I put on
what that mouth do, baby."
And then when they go to Planet Zero, he gets fucked up and turns into
Planet what?
Doom. Planet Zero.
Allegedly the negative zone, but
so fucking lame,
the Timu negative zone. The Timu.
You want to see the real negative zone? Look at the runtime of that movie. That's the real negative zone.
Negative zone. So he comes back. He comes back and he's like, he develops an accent, an Eastern European accent. He's like, I was gone. You left me in the
He was American.
And
then when he becomes Doom, he develops.
He develops an accent.
Luis, are you not familiar with the? Are you not familiar with that dimension in Marvel Comics that turns everybody Eastern European? You know, the void that makes you Eastern European. That catchy name everyone calls it. The void that makes you Eastern European.
Nigga came back Polish, bro. Nigga came back.
Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch used to live in it, and then she left, and that's why she doesn't have the accent anymore.
That's crazy, bro.
Bro came back from fucking Kazakhstan.
But I think you missed it. It's what I was telling AZ. It's like, look, I know they had to drop Jonathan Majors. I know they had to drop the whole Kang storyline.
They could just cast me and make it easy.
Those 5 seconds where I saw Franklin and Doom, I was like,
That shit was terrifying.
Give me Doomsday.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
I'm like, give it to me today.
I need it right now.
I need it right now.
Let me posit y'all this theory.
Let me take it one quick step further. Even though I'm very much against the RDJ casting as Doom, I have somewhat a little bit of optimism for it. The reason being I know RDJ's capability as an actor. He's phenomenal. He's a great actor. Outside of the Marvel films we've seen him in, he's a phenomenal actor. So I know he can carry his role well. I hate how they're gonna do a cop out and it's Doom using Tony Stark's likeness to convince the Avengers that he's trustworthy. Bro, if you're gonna adapt the fucking what storyline is that? Please, the chat don't cook me for not knowing the name. I know exactly what it is.
Do you want me to do it?
Please do. Because
it's time runs out from Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers.
Dog,
that leads into Secret Wars.
The drink punching my shit right
now. The tequila fucking my shit up.
I'm in the negative zone right now.
But here's the
negative zone.
But here's my theory.
Jarvis,
right?
clip that.
So you know how I was saying that I think that Doom is a Doom bot, right? This is my theory, right? So in the Hickman run, there's a point where Namor and the Illuminati go to Doom to get his help with the incursions, and he says this line that's like, "You drag the stinking carcass of when you cannot live with your own failure, you drag the stinking carcass of it to my doorstep." It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful fucking line, and it is literally just, bitch ass nigga, I knew about this for weeks. I just ain't tell you. You could have came to. I was gonna tell you, but I was like, nah, they gonna call me because I know the most about it. Why would they not call me? And then when y'all didn't call me, I was gonna say I was hurt, but then I was like, nah, they bitches, they got it. So I'm gonna just do my own thing. Like,
pussy ass nigga.
And that's what I'm thinking we're getting a nod to, because the whole time, right? Because Doom views himself as the one who will save the world, right? He's thinking of the bigger picture, right? So he's not concerned with Galactus, right? And him not directly going after Franklin, knowing about Galactus, right? Maybe he wants to assess the situation, assess the powers of Franklin, because he knows that there's something up there through his mystic means.
So your theory is like, he had a contingency plan in case the Fantastic Four couldn't beat Galactus. Dr. Doom had something in store.
And all aside, he was just like watching to see how it plays out, because Doom is much more that kind of guy where he's like, listen, you guys suck. I want you to know how badly you suck. And right when you're at that moment where you know how dog shit you are, I'm going to come in and do everything better than you, because I'm Dr. Goddamn Doom. And I love that.
Pussy.
Because he is a man of pure pride and spite, and I could see that kind of being what he does. And I think
Doom might be the most elite hater.
If that's not a Doombot at the end, I think that is actually Doom in person, because he's like, okay, they're not really a threat to me, and I can make nice with a child. It's a fucking baby. I'm Dr. Doom.
I like
AZ,
RDJ.
I'll take it as not a Doombot, but him being like, you know what? Let me flex on these niggas real quick. I hate you, Reed Richards. I hate everything about you. I'm playing with your fucking son, nigga. I hate you. I fucking hate you. This is my son now.
I got your bitch in the kitchen getting books, and I'm playing peekaboo with your baby son, nigga. I'm over here playing peekaboo in the living room, but it will get me books, nigga. She over there reading Darwin with it.
That meme sandwich.
I got your son in my lap watching Bluey, fuck, nigga. Play with
the meme where it's like that one guy who's like smiling. The meme where it's that character smiling with a little propeller hat, and it's the other guy's like, I fucking hate you and I hope you die. That's what literally I fucking hate you and I hope you die, man. Bitch. I'm talking to your son, nigga. That's my son.
Man, we don't fuck with the Russos. We don't like with the fact that they don't finish scripts before making movies.
Yeah, Marvel.
I'm interested to see what Doomsday is. Like after Fantastic Four, after kind of like the teaser, after like we'll see how it goes. If Doomsday hits, the MCU is good up until the X-Men come. And if they can if they can nail Doomsday, Secret Wars, X-Men casting, X-Men movie, they're good for another 10, 15.
They got a lot of hurdles.
You know we said leading up to this, we said if the Fantastic Four movie doesn't hit, MCU's fucked. The Fantastic Four movie hit. So
I actually have the numbers here. So it's made. It had a budget of 200 million, right? Doubling that for marketing, anywhere from like 350 to 400 million, right? In its opening, it made 117 million dollars. Already a pretty exquisite opening, right? Now, internationally, on its 1 week run, it is currently sitting at 241 million dollars. It's making its budget back slowly but steadily. It's not a flop by any means, but it'll more than likely just break even. What really matters is the critical acclaim and getting the general audiences and longtime fans of the MCU to get back interested in the Marvel.
Yes.
And if we're going into ratings, I'm going to say we should do this twofold. One, the 5-star rating like normal, and two, whether or not this has pivoted us back to being much more invested in Marvel. So 2 scales. So like 5 stars for the movie, and then like 5 stars for like your rating of like how invested. I'm gonna say personally for this movie.
Oh shit.
I give this movie, no pun intended, I give it 4 stars. Actually, not 4 stars. I give it 4.5. I give it 4.5.
I'm right there with you, brother.
Because while I do think this is a step in the right direction, I think a lot of the cuts do justify making the story as streamlined as it was. It does also leave a lot of things undesired, like Ben Grimm and his relationship, or his entire character arc, basically. A little bit more background with Galactus. I feel like we could have done a little bit more with like the Silver Surfer and her backstory a little bit more, right? Because that brief flashback, I felt like needed some more meat on it. Maybe things of her going through different planets. Maybe that could have been the cold open, right? That would have been nice. And then we pivot to the radio show. That would have been a great open, would have hooked me immediately. But different things are a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? Still a 4.5 solid film. Not better than Superman, but 4.5. Now, in terms of excitement, I would say I am at a very cautious 3.8 to 4 for Doomsday. Because while this is another step in the right direction, if Thunderbolts was them opening the door, Fantastic Four is them putting their foot in it. I think definitely this is much more of Marvel showing that no, we remember what movies look like. We can make them. We have the skills. We haven't lost it, even though they did. But they still have to do a lot because we've had to wade through a lot of shit. So overall, 4.5, and then like a solid 3.8 for hype. I'm still pretty intrigued more than anything.
I love that. I would give my Fantastic Four rating a 4 out of 5 stars. I don't think it's perfect. I think it was a great time. I think the casting was great. I think the acting was great. I think some of the writing and the editing really fucked it up, and I wanted more, but I think this is a step in the right direction. I think it's the best Fantastic Four movie we've gotten ever. And if these are the 4 main characters leading the future of the MCU, I think we're in safe hands. As far as how hyped I am for like Doomsday and the MCU moving forward, I would say like a 3-star.
Mm-hmm.
Hate the RDJ Dr. Doom casting with a motherfucking
not stress that enough.
Passion. I fucking hate it. But I think this movie kind of put me in good enough graces to kind of give Doomsday a chance, see what happens. If this and Doomsday and Secret Wars hit, and the X-Men casting is good, like I said, I think they're good for 10, 15 years. So it's a 3. We'll see how they do. If they fuck up Doomsday, shit's cooked. Wrap this shit up. It's over.
You can go ahead and take Secret Wars out back like Blade and just put a gun to it.
Yeah, and put the fries in the motherfucking bag, Kevin Feige.
On God.
Because it's over.
On God. Bro needs to go work at fucking box lunch where he buys his hats, bro. The movie business ain't for him.
I'm right there with both of y'all. So my rating of Fantastic Four is definitely a 4.5 star, because while it wasn't absolutely perfect, it's what was needed for the MCU at this current current point in time. I think it carries a lot of weight. Excuse me. I think that the characters and the actors who portrayed these characters did a great job of what they had. I think that this movie is solid. It stands on its own 2 feet, and that it competes with Superman very well, which we hold in high regard. We all hold Superman in high regard here at the Cinestro Core. So I think that Fantastic Four follows on the heels of that very, very well. However, Doomsday, Secret Wars, and the X-Men, the mutant saga of the MCU are pivotal to the survival of the MCU in general. And while I don't like the RDJ casting as Doom, I think it's a cop out.
Let's go. Fuck that casting.
I hope
no one likes it creatively bankrupt.
I am praying to God and to Allah and to everybody in between that RDJ is not the end all Doom. I hope that it's just a one-off, that he's going to be here for one movie, two movie, and then Secret Wars he's going to get killed by the real Doom, who's like, I don't fucking know that guy, bitch ass trying to be me. Fuck him. I killed him.
Maybe not like a bait and switch. I'd prefer if it was like an LMD, like a Doom bot, like a last model. I can't do any more multiversal variants, man. I can't fucking do it.
If he was like, I based my Doom bot off of Tony Stark's likeness or whatever, some bullshit.
Exactly.
Now we get the real
that
Doom.
would be
better.
better.
A valid in-universe explanation as to why this Doom looks like Tony Stark. And make it make sense, because I love RDJ. I don't want to see another RDJ character.
This is so embarrassing, bro. You just won an Oscar, bitch. Why are you coming back, dog? You have all the money in the fucking world. Why are you doing this? But
it doesn't make sense to me. But we'll see how it plays out. I hope that Doomsday, I feel like Doomsday is going to be a success. I know everything right now is in the air. The script is all the fuck everywhere. We got the casting. We know who all's going to be in the movie. That's why there were no stakes for this movie. That's
literally everybody.
I think that's my other gripe with Fantastic Four's First Steps. They told us who's going to make it to the next movie. So I knew no one was going to die. I didn't care. I didn't care if the niggas could die. They could quote unquote die and it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't mean shit, because they're coming back and they're coming back in Doomsday. It doesn't matter. So I think they should have waited until after this movie to release that cast list. It would have made more sense. It would have been
definitely.
So, but whatever.
They also needed a win, though.
They did. So we'll see how Doomsday plays out. I hope that it blows us out of the water. I hope that the Russos return to Captain America Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War form and bring us something good, because everything outside of Marvel that they've done has been booty cheeks. Dog shit
cheeks, bro.
Caca and ass and butt cheeks and donkey shit.
You know what I hope also? I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching or listening or even inhaling or whatever other five senses you use.
Inhaling? It's crazy.
Hey, bro, we're an addictive podcast. What can I say? We're the snuff of media podcasts, you know?
Perktastic Four.
Exactly. And what you should do is leave a like. We thank you so much for watching or listening. Share us with your friends, enemies, loved ones, at least 4 people in honor of this movie. You legally have to do it. We also wanted to share you with our friends, or share our friends with you, like our friends over at Backstage OL, who do what we do, but much better. They have all the latest behind the scenes movie interviews, scoops. They've expanded their market. They have much more funding than us, honestly. Us in the same breath as Backstage OL is probably the funniest thing.
Much more funding. But our bars in hell, bro.
We have no funding. How can we be compared
at all?
We're funded by tequila and Whataburger coupons.
We're funded by Methodist Charlton Medical Center, which is my job.
His job. We're funded
The only other one we have is the Church of Scientology, but they keep taking money from us, so we can't do that.
Oh my God.
But Backstage should instead take your time and all of your lovely views over there, because they do a lot and they are great, right? So if you want some of that latest behind the scenes goodness, go ahead and check them out. And if you want the exact opposite of quality, boy, do I have the YouTube channel for you. YouTube.com/TariSingo. That's right. On that channel,
he's being humble. He's great. He's so talented.
I do great things over there. Currently doing them for free because we are still in monetization jail until September. But I am working on a video where
the war on YouTube continues.
Where based off of only seeing Superman 6 times and then reading the junior novel and
I'm out. You've only seen it 6 times? Step your money up, boy.
Step your shit up, baby boy.
10,
hey, lame man.
I'm at 10.
But using that, my comic book knowledge and future DC projects, I'm going to try to map out on this whiteboard a timeline of James Gunn's DC universe.
You're gonna map out
and
these nuts on his face.
It is going to be the most. It is going to be quite the game.
Map out some bitches.
And if you want to see why I don't get bitches and why women won't talk to me, also
follow him on Twitch, baby.
Follow me on Twitch, because on my Twitch you will see me say things you will see me play games sometimes with these two idiots who I swear are my friends. They just make fun of me because they care.
We love AV. We love AV.
But I stream on there. I sometimes do movie nights. Sometimes I've been thinking about picking a day where me and the boys do like a bad movie commentary, and we put that on Square.
Tune in when we do Marvel Rivals. I'm about to be crazy on Blade, bro.
Niggas
don't know about Daywalker.
It's crazy.
The Daywalker.
Matt took this long to get Lord with Scarlet Witch and thinks he's gonna play Blade. That's hilarious. But but
I have a job.
I can't do. But if you, I do too. I'm just better. Okay. Never mind. That's probably why
I became important
so good at the
job.
game.
I became very important at my job. I can no longer play games.
I just make the pizza. I don't do nothing else. But you know what? And instead of making pizza, I'm gonna make you do something. I'm gonna make you go to all of our social media platforms as Cinestro Corp and follow us. Literally do it. We cannot, and I cannot stress this enough. Stop fucking asking about the S. Okay?
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Fuck that ass. We don't need that shit.
We are one corp. We don't need the S. We don't want to talk about it. It was a bad breakup. We don't end of story. That bitch can go on. I don't
she
care.
took the kids and the house.
She took the kids. She took the content.
Drop the S. Fantastic Four. Dark Tip.
She's terrible. Anyway, go see Fantastic Four. It's a pretty good movie, and we will see you in the next episode. Put them fours up, baby.
Show them fours.
Four. Goodbye.
We're the kings of the screen, yeah. Cinestro core, we're the dream, yeah. New episode Saturday afternoon. We in your ear, that comic book crew. More good it takes what we do. Cinestro core, we're the crew.